Imagine standing in front of a canvas that doesn't just show you an image, but pulls you into a world of hyper-realistic clarity that makes your current setup look like a relic from the 90s. For years, the tech world has been whispers and shadows when it came to Apple's next big move in the display market, but 2026 has officially blown the doors off the rumor mill. We aren't just talking about a minor spec bump or a thinner cable. We are witnessing a complete architectural shift in how Apple perceives the professional workspace. If you've been holding onto your wallet, waiting for the perfect moment to upgrade your desk setup, the data pouring in about the Apple Studio Display 2 suggests that your patience is about to be rewarded in ways we didn't think were possible at this price point. Welcome back to my channel Tech Rivet for exclusive insights into the future of tech. Subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon for more tech updates. Now, let's get into why the leaked internal code names like J527 are sending shockwaves through the industry. The original Studio Display, while beautiful, felt like a safe bet, a 5K panel we had essentially seen before in the iMac. But the 2026 successor is breaking away from the safe label. The headline feature that has every creator from Los Angeles to New York buzzing is the integration of a tandem OLED or high-density mini LED backlighting system that finally brings promotion to the desktop. For the last 4 years, the pro community has been divided. You either spent $1,600 on the Studio Display and lived with 60 Hz, or you sold a kidney for the $5,000 Pro Display XDR to get that true high dynamic range. But March 2026 has changed the math entirely. Apple has effectively split the lineup into two distinct beasts: the standard Studio Display 2 and the God-tier Studio Display XDR. Let's talk about that standard model first, because it's the one most of us are going to have on our desks. The J427, as it's known internally, keeps that iconic 27-inch 5K resolution that Apple enthusiasts swear by. But under the hood, it's a whole different animal. We are seeing the first ever implementation of an A19 chip inside a monitor. Think about that for a second. The A19 is the same silicon powerhouse driving the latest iPhone 17 series. Why would a monitor need that much power? Because Apple is moving toward decentralized processing. In the past, your Mac did all the heavy lifting for things like center stage, spatial audio, and True Tone. Now, the Studio Display 2 handles those tasks natively with its own neural engine, freeing up your Mac's CPU and GPU to focus purely on your timeline or your code. But the real mic drop moment for the 2026 lineup is the Studio Display XDR. This is the 27-inch monitor we've been dreaming of. It finally brings mini LED technology down from the 32-inch stratosphere. We're talking about over 2,300 local dimming zones. For the uninitiated, that means blacks that are so deep they look like the screen is turned off, and highlights that hit a staggering 2,000 nits of peak brightness. If you're an HDR colorist, or just someone who wants their movies to look better than the local cinema, this is the gold standard. And yes, the rumors were true. Promotion is here. The XDR model features a 120 Hz adaptive sync refresh rate. Once you've scrolled through a document or edited a high frame rate video at 120 Hz on a 5K canvas, there is no going back. The fluidity is addictive. Interestingly, some leaks suggest the base Studio Display 2 might be capped at 90 Hz, a promotion light of sorts. While some might see this as Apple being Apple, even 90 Hz is a massive 50% jump in smoothness over the previous generation. Let's talk about connectivity, because this is where the 2026 models leave the competition in the dust. Thunderbolt 5 has arrived. With bandwidth reaching up to 120 gigabits per second, the I/O on the back of these displays is essentially a superhighway. You can now daisy-chain up to 4 Studio displays from a single port on your M5 Mac. Imagine that, 60 million pixels of 5K glory, all running through one cable. For the clean desk setup addicts, this is the promised land. Apple has even included 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports and 2 USB-C ports, providing enough downstream power to fast charge a 14-inch MacBook Pro at 96W while you work. It's the ultimate one-cable solution. And what about the eyes and ears of the machine? The 12-megapixel center stage camera has been completely overhauled. Using the A19's image signal processor, Apple has introduced Desk View and Studio Lighting 2.0. This isn't just a webcam. It's a professional-grade optics system that uses AI to simulate a shallow depth of field, making your Zoom calls look like they were shot on a Sony A7S III. The audio hasn't been ignored either. The 6-speaker system now features 4 force-canceling woofers that deliver 30% deeper bass than the 2022 model. It's gotten to the point where you might actually consider ditching your dedicated studio monitors for most tasks. But here is the catch that has the tech forums in a frenzy: the silicon-only wall. The 2026 studio displays officially require an M-series Mac and macOS Tahoe 26.3 or later. If you're still rocking a high-end Intel iMac or a Mac Pro from the Intel era, Apple is sending a very clear message. The bridge to the past has been burned. This display is built for the future of Apple Silicon and its integrated AI features. It's a bold, perhaps aggressive move, but it ensures that every single pixel and every AI-driven audio tweak performs at its absolute peak without the bottlenecks of legacy hardware. Price-wise, Apple has played a very strategic game. The standard Studio Display 2 remains at $1,599, the same price point it has held since launch. However, the Studio Display XDR comes in at $3,299. It's a steep jump, but when you compare it to the original $5,000 Pro Display XDR, which didn't even include a stand, it starts to look like a bargain for high-end professionals. You're getting better brightness, a higher refresh rate, and better connectivity for nearly $2,000 less. Apple is essentially killing their own high-end product to dominate the mid-tier professional market. As we look at the competition, the Samsung Viewfinity S9s and the Dell Ultrasharps of the world, they're struggling to keep up with this level of ecosystem integration. Sure, you can find a 5K or 6K panel for less, but you won't get the A19 powered center stage, the seamless macOS brightness and volume control, or the build quality of a single-block aluminum chassis. The Studio Display 2 isn't just a monitor. It's the final piece of the puzzle for the M5 era. It's a statement that the desktop experience is no longer second class to the MacBook Pro. Whether you're a designer in London, a coder in Silicon Valley, or a creator in Austin, the 2026 Apple Display lineup is the new North Star for productivity. If you've been waiting to pull the trigger, the wait is officially over. The supply chain is ramping up, pre-orders are live, and the reviews are already calling this the retina moment of the decade. The shift from 60 Hz to 120 Hz, the jump from standard LED to mini LED, and the introduction of Thunderbolt 5 make this more than an upgrade. It's a rebirth of the Apple Display. As we move into the second half of 2026, it's clear that Apple isn't just making screens anymore. They're making the windows through which we view the future of work and creativity. So, clear your desk, check your Thunderbolt cables, and get ready, because the Studio Display 2 is about to change everything you thought you knew about your workspace.